everyone, how are you? I'm here and I have another messy church in a bag for you, this time on the theme of Easter. There are lots of good stuff in here. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 craft activities, prayer activity, takeaway menu, a storybook that tells you the Easter story, and some instructions and colouring sheets. So let's get on and do the first craft, shall we?
Hello, it's me, and I'm going to be doing this palm leaf craft with you this afternoon. You'll find it in the blue and white striped paper bag, and inside you will find 3 sheets of dark green paper or other colour green paper. You will also find a wooden stick like this, or if you haven't got a wooden stick like this, you will have a piece of card like this and a wooden stick like that. You also need to gather together a pen that you can write on wood with, either glue or sellotape. I found sellotape easier, but you might prefer to use glue, but it's up to you. You're going to need some scissors to do some cutting out. So once you've got everything that you need, the first thing that you have to do is draw around your hand on the 3 pieces of paper. Now I've got big hands, so I can only get 2 hands out of each piece of paper, but you might be able to get 3 or even 4 hand shapes out of yours. And so there they are, drawn on the piece of paper, and I've got that on 3 pieces of paper. When you've done that, you need to cut them out. I've got 6 hands ready now. Now the easiest way to do it is to make sure that you have an even number of hands in each pile and that your little fingers are together. So for me, I've got 3 hands here and 3 hands here. And then I get my stick. The first thing I do then is write Hosanna on the stick, because that way you'll know not to come down too far. So about halfway along, where the little indent is there on the stick is where I'm going to start writing Hosanna. When I've done it on that side, I turn it over and write Hosanna on the other side. So starting at the top of the stick and with your little fingers together, I'm going to overlap them so that they stick out one like that and one like that, so that they stick out big at the top, so that you can stick them down. I'm going to stick them down with some sellotape. Don't worry if it overlaps, because we're going to sort that out at the end. So after you've done the first 2, you work your way down until you've got all of them stuck onto your lolly stick. There. So when you turn it over, you can see that it's a bit floppy at the top, so you need another bit of sellotape to stick that on. So just stick enough sellotape on until you're happy. Now if you've got one of these sticks, you need to stick your lolly pop stick on top, just to make it a little bit more secure and just to make it a little bit more stiff. If you've got a stick like this one, the longer one, all you need to do is put some more sellotape down either side of the stick. So here, there's more sellotape down there to make sure that all the hands stay in the same place. And I've stuck some sellotape down the side of the stick there to make sure, again, that the stick and the hands stay nice and secure. So there you are. So on the day that Jesus rode into Jerusalem, the people waved their palm leaves and shouted, Hosanna.
Okay, so now we're going to do this craft that is in the red and white stripe bag, which in my case is this cross. Now all the bags will have a slightly different, so you might have a slightly different craft to this. Some are crosses, some are Easter eggs, but they're all this little craft that comes in a form of a kit in a bag that does have a sheet of instructions in it as well. So it should be very straightforward to do it. Obviously, if you need help with reading and what you need to do, then ask your adult to help you. So and it all has all the components you need with sticky backs to them. So for this one, the first thing you need to do is to peel off the backing carefully on this cross. There we are. Now when you've done that and you've got it all peeled off, you just lay it on top of the cross underneath, press it down. And then for this one, we need to pull out the word Jesus and then stick that carefully across the centre of the cross, like this. Finally, you take your cord, lay it on the back. There is a circle of foam, pull that off of its sticky backing, and then you just lay those on the back and you put your foam sticky over the top, so you have a hanging ornament. Now, whether you've got a cross, whether you've got an egg, it's all about reminding us that Easter is all about Jesus and what he did when he went to the cross and died for us. Have fun! So now we're going to look at the craft that is in the orange and white stripe bag, which will be the Easter sunrise garden. So, opening your bag, in it you will find everything you need. So there is half a plate, a foam cross, some green, a little label, and a sheet of yellow foam. Your hands. You just need 2 for this. So, you know, you don't need to worry about fitting on more. We just need 2. So draw around your hands. Excellent. And then when you've done that, very carefully, you need to cut them out. Okay, there we are. Here are my 2 handprints. Your brown piece of foam already has the cross marked out on it. So while you've got your holding your scissors, let's just cut that out as well. Let's put that to one side there. And your green piece of crepe paper, we need to cut this into chunks, like little squares. Let's just go ahead and do that now. There we are. I think that's all the cutting out done now. So let's put the scissors down. Now we're going to put this together now. This is the fun bit, isn't it? Right, so taking your cross first of all, it needs to go in the centre of the plate. Kind of like 4 centimetres up from the bottom. So it's not sitting on the bottom at the back, but it's like 4 centimetres up. Now you can glue this down, but actually I'm going to use a bit of sellotape and just put a couple of pieces over there and stick that down for now. Okay. Now we need to take your handprints, your cutouts, and these form the backdrop to your cross. So they need to go like that. I would say thumbs in the middle. Thumbs in the middle. These are the rays of the sun as they rose on Easter Sunday. There we are. Right, I'm going to turn it over now and work on the front. Now, you will need the glue for this bit. And I'm going to glue my plate. I'm going to glue the centre. I'm going to glue my plate here. I'm going to put a nice layer of glue on here. And then arrange. Just put on my bits of green. Like that. And finally, we have a little notice here that says Jesus is risen. I'm going to put a bit of glue on the back of that too, and then that gets stuck on the front to remind us that although on Easter Sunday Jesus rose again, he was no longer in the tomb, no longer dead. There we are, and this is your Easter Sunday sunrise garden. Okay, now we are going to make the Easter bunny. You'll find this craft in our yellow and white stripe bag. In here, there is an ordinary flannel, a bit of ribbon, some bands and some eyes, and a cream egg. Okay, so this is what you need to do. Have your flannel out in front of you, and what we're going to do is we're going to fold it corner to corner, so you've got a triangle. Then put it down with the long edge in front of you, and you need to fold it in half and fold it in half again. So you have this long piece of towel. Turn it over and then just put your finger in the middle and fold it up like that. So you've got something, looks like that. Now, in the little bag, little plastic bag, there are a couple of bands. These are what you need next. We're going to take them, and about a thumb, or my thumb, length from the bottom, we're going to take it and wind it round twice, ideally. And then we're going to put another band a little bit up from there, wind it around twice. So that means you have one band through there and one band through there. Okay, you can see your bunny starting to form floppy ears. Also in your bag is a piece of ribbon. We're going to wrap that around where you've put the first band, and tie that in a nice bow, or whatever you want. Like so. So now what we need to do is put on the googly eyes. You will need a little bit of glue on these, so put some glue on the back of them, and then you just stick them above the bow but below the second band. There we go. Isn't it a cutie? Cute little fella. And then all you need to do then is to put your cream egg into the larger space that you've left at the bottom. And there is your Easter bunny with cream egg.
Hi everyone, it's Darren here, the pastor at the Baptist Church in Herne Bay. You might remember me from some of the messy church talks. And I'm just going to spend a few minutes now telling you the story behind Easter and why we celebrate it. Some people have called it the greatest story ever told, and others have called it the greatest story never told, because often we manage to celebrate Easter and all the chocolate and the eggs and all that sort of thing without actually pausing to remember the story behind Easter, the story of what happened to Jesus in the last week of his earthly life. Now it begins on what we call Palm Sunday, and that's when Jesus and his disciples, his followers, arrived in Jerusalem, the capital city of Israel. And the Jewish people had known for some time, a very long time in fact, that God had promised that one day he would send them a great king who would restore the nation, who would make them a people again that he would be able to bless. And they thought, well, maybe this Jesus is that king. So they welcomed him with cheers and shouts, and they waved palm branches, and they laid their cloaks on the road to welcome him, because they thought he could be the king. But what they meant, what they had in mind, was a king who would boot out the Romans. But that wasn't actually the sort of king that Jesus was going to be, because Jesus wanted to talk about a different sort of kingdom where there was actually forgiveness and peace and kindness. And Jesus's kingdom was actually based on God's forgiving people and receiving people back to himself. Well, that wasn't a kingdom that they were interested in. So the Jewish leaders decided to get rid of Jesus, to have him executed. And on what we call Maundy Thursday, Jesus ate a last meal, a last supper with his disciples. And in that supper he took bread and he took wine, and he used the bread to talk about his own body and the wine to talk about his own blood. And he explained how he was about to be murdered, how he was about to die on a cross. But he said that his death would not be the end. There was more to come, and that the whole point of his death was that through his death, life would come to all who believed in him. And that Last Supper is where we get communion from. And Christians still meet together today and take bread and take wine and remember Jesus' death. That was Maundy Thursday. And then on Good Friday, we remember that Jesus was crucified on a cross, that he died. And that's why the symbol of so many churches is a cross. That seems very strange, isn't it? Why would you want to remember the way that your hero, your leader, died, the way he was killed? Because for us, Jesus' death is actually the climax of the story. It's the whole reason he came. He came to die on the cross, not for what he'd done wrong, but for what we had done wrong. And so the Christian believes that right at the heart of what God was doing through Jesus was that his death was my death. Jesus died in my place. So all the things that I'd done wrong, all the rubbish, all the gunk, all the horrible things that I do and say and think, all the things that displease God and separate me from God, they're taken away, and if you like, they're placed on Jesus. They're placed on him, and he takes them and he dies with them, and they're buried with him in the tomb. And that's what happened on Good Friday. Jesus died on the cross, and his final words as he died were, "It is finished." But the word he used, finished, is a word that actually means not it's all over, but it is completed. It is done. So that's Good Friday, and then comes Easter Saturday. Well, what happens on Easter Saturday? Well, nothing really, because everyone thought it was all over. So Easter Saturday was an empty day. His disciples thought, this is it, it's all finished. But on Easter Sunday, some of the ladies that followed him went to the tomb to properly embalm his body, discovered the stone was rolled away and the tomb was empty. And angels appeared and said, look, there's no one there, because he's risen from the dead. And shortly after that, Jesus started appearing here and there to his disciples, one or two in this place, a few more in this place, and then to more and more of them. And he ate with them, and he spoke with them, and he let them touch his body. At one point, the Bible says he even appeared to over 500 of his followers. And this was the amazing news, that after all Jesus' enemies had done their very worst to him, and that was to kill him. I mean, what more could they do? Jesus had defeated even death itself. He was risen from the dead, never to die again. And that's our great Christian hope, that because Jesus passed through death to a new life, a greater life that can never be taken away, so we who believe in him, death will not be the end, but rather a gateway to the same new life that Jesus had. So when you put all that together, that's an amazing message. That's why for many Christians, for most Christians, Easter's more important than Christmas. Christmas is about Jesus' birth, but Easter tells us why he was born, what the point of it all was. And it's a message of forgiveness, that through Jesus' death on the cross, forgiveness is available for us all. And it's a message of hope, that death is not the end, that for those who believe in Jesus, there is life eternal, life with God forever and ever. That's worth celebrating. Happy Easter.
Hello everyone. Okay, so now we're going to do our prayer activity for today. In your blue and white stripe bag, that's where you'll find the bits that you need to do this. And we're going to have a look at the events of Easter week, make a bookmark together, and then pray. So there is your bookmark base and 4 coloured tiles. For this you will need some glue, and we're going to start. Now for the Easter week we want to put these on in the right order. So we need to start with the green tile, which is for Palm Sunday. And that is what Pam did for us earlier with her Hosanna palm leaves. So put a nice amount of glue on the back and then stick it up the top, like that. Then we remember Holy Thursday. We also know it as Maundy Thursday. That's the day when Jesus celebrated the Last Supper with his disciples. That one goes on next. And stick that on below the green tile. Next is the red tile. This represents Good Friday. We made a cross or an egg to remember Good Friday, didn't we? So that is the next event. That's the next thing that happens during this week to Jesus. And we're going to stick that on there. And we're building up the picture, the events of Easter week. Finally, we've got a yellow tile, and that is for Easter Sunday, which is what we did when we did the Easter Sunday sunrise garden, didn't we? And that's the last event of Easter week when Jesus rose again. And we're going to stick that on the bottom. There we are. That's our Easter week bookmark. And now we're going to pray. Lord Jesus, when each Easter comes, we think about the day you said goodbye to all your friends before you went away. We think about your wooden cross and of the empty grave. We know that you will always keep the promises you gave, to live and love forever, that we might have life too. Thank you, God, for Easter time and for our lives so new. Amen. Well, that's it. That's what we've planned for you in our messy church in a bag for Easter. Really, really hope that you've enjoyed doing all those crafts. From our palm leaves, our Hosanna palm leaves for Palm Sunday, to the cross for Good Friday, and to the Easter sunrise garden, which we've all pulled together with our prayer activity bookmark. Hope you've really enjoyed them. You've found out more and understand more about Easter. And obviously don't forget our chocolate egg there. Have a wonderful Easter. We would love to see some of the examples of the crafts that you've made. So please send them in to me or put them on our Facebook page. There are my contact details. We'll follow this shortly. Please get in contact. Please send in your photos. We look forward to being able to do some more stuff with Messy Church, so please look out for details. As soon as we know what we're doing, I'll be sharing them with you. Okay, but for now, have a wonderful, wonderful and blessed Easter. Take care, everyone. Bye.